Do I have to mix this in rap here? Do I have to? So welcome to Vodka and Juice Boxes, the play date, where the only thing these girls are spilling is their drinks and their secrets. So sit back, grab a cocktail, enjoy today's confession session with the real husbands of Orange County. Yes, they've rounded them up. They're here today. You've heard about them. You've seen them on reality television. They're here. And with your hosts, our sister hosts, Amanda and Juliet. Hey, girls.
Hey, Paul. Thank you so much. Dude, that gangster rap was for real. Love it.
We're from Irvine.
I know. We were just, trying to get a little manly up in here with,
I know there's a lot of people, so I'll try not to talk. It's hard for me to do. You always want me to jump in as the grandpa voice here and answer all these questions. But I hate these guys. I hate these guys already. I've listened to how many of your shows? Best husbands in the world, most understanding guys.
Okay.
I'll do anything wrong.
I don't think any of that is my words. I just say what he does for me, and that ends up being a pretty good guy.
Oh,
Exactly.
wow.
It's all true. Brian's pretty much the best husband there is.
Well,
See? There he is.
You're no short of amazing.
See?
Sorry,
Awesome.
sorry, keep
Okay, well.
So this is going to be a love fest today.
Yeah,
here.
It will. We're just going
I'm
to.
like, you're the best. No, you're the best.
All right. Well, it is. Thank you so much, Paul, for that great introduction. Today is Amanda's birthday.
Yay.
Happy birthday.
Thank
and her
you.
birthday wish was to have our guys on the show. So this is a very special Vodka and Juice Boxes. We changed it to now Bourbon and Juice Boxes. The guys are going to play host
Only
today.
for right now.
Just for like 5 minutes.
And I have to say, I used to own a bar many years ago. You guys picked a good bourbon here. This is Jefferson's
We
Reserve.
did. Amanda's
Thank
going
you.
to explain our drink in just a minute. So we're going to, Amanda and I are going to take the back seats if we can, while the guys tell us, how their lives kind of changed from being
guys to being husbands.
yeah, from being husbands to fathers to now where they at, how they're able to maintain the relationship and the roles they play in the family life. So it's going to be super exciting. So before that, though, Amanda, what are we drinking?
We're doing old fashions.
And what is in this old fashioned?
Wow. You're really talking I'm sorry, my language. This is my father's era. This is my era. This is the '60s and the Rat Pack, baby.
This is still our era. This is what we're drinking right now.
back,
This is
yeah.
what we
It's
love.
Well, it's a classic. I feel like.
Timeless.
It was the first cocktail ever invented.
Was it really?
Yeah.
No, that I didn't know.
Tell us about
I just
that.
heard it on Corolla's podcast. He had a mixologist on there, and that's where the term cocktail came from. He
Where
called
did it
a
come from?
cocktail.
Where did it?
I don't know. That's just what he called it.
Because I've
I'm
never
not going
understood
too
that
far
term.
back.
I've never understood that term. But anyway.
Yeah.
Cocktail isn't it supposed to be a drink that has anything more than 3 or more ingredients, right? Or it might be 2, but I thought it was 3.
2 probably, yeah. But why cocktail? That sounds a little.
Jim Cocktail invented it.
Yeah, Johnny Cocktail.
Okay.
Johnny Cocktail.
the Johnny Cocktail.
So right now we're having Jefferson bourbon. And what else is going in this to make it an old fashioned, Amanda? For those who don't know.
I did bitters, I did a maraschino cherry, and then I did orange. For the boys, I did an orange peel, and for the girls, to make it a little bit sweeter, I actually just muddled like an orange slice, and then my girlfriend Kat made us a simple syrup instead of doing the the sugar cube, because it was just one easier step. So I didn't, have to do as much work. So
And
Thanks,
you're going to give a
Kathleen.
shout out to Jefferson Bourbon. I believe this is
Show
made
up.
off the same batch that our president, Thomas Jefferson, used to make at Monticello. That's why they call it Jefferson's Reserve. It's supposed to be the
then.
same formula. same
Jefferson
recipe.
bourbon is definitely one of our new favorites that we are drinking at the house all the time. Jameson is fantastic, but
Jameson.
Jefferson is our new favorite. Jefferson Ocean, that's a whole nother conversation. If you want to talk bourbon and whiskey, you got Brian here. So we're going to go ahead and let the guys
Closer, babe.
take over. They're really just going to talk about life and where they're at and about being dads, and we'll kind of jump
I'm sure
in.
there's a lot of people out there that are wondering
If these guys are for real.
if we complained.
Yeah.
Not just that, but like if there's wondering if like we complain as much to our husbands, and that's the whole reason why we started the podcast, is because every single thing that I think comes out loud, and I say it to my husband, and he was like, "You should start a podcast."
I did suggest it. She was venting it one day, and I said, you know what?
Not just-
Maybe you should get it out there. And I'm sure everybody else has the same thought, and they just don't.
Too afraid to say it.
Yeah, they just want to hear it from someone.
So it
else.
wasn't
Yeah.
wasn't the other impulse that struck me is go tell somebody else other than me.
Well,
Well,
you're gonna hear it anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to hear it regardless if everybody
Yeah.
else hears it. I just
All
want
right.
everybody to feel it.
So from this moment on, I want Aaron and Brian to take over the show. They are going to just share their stories. And why don't you guys first start off with who you are, your kids, and just start chatting away.
Perfect.
All right, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, so I'm Aaron Ekanaga and Juliet's husband, obviously. Our kids are 3.5, Ezekiel, and a little over 1 year is Malachi. And I have to say first, thank you very much, ladies, for always painting us in such a positive
Yeah.
light, because
My
it
pleasure.
could be just a husband bash fest if you want it to be.
It could
Well,
be.
if you sucked, you best believe I would.
Yeah, well, we
Uh-huh.
suck in different ways, I guess.
No.
But hopefully being, parents is, priority one. And
Yeah.
I think we're doing okay, right?
I think we're doing fine, man.
So
Brian's like me. I'm like, I'm not bad at it, okay?
Maybe not number
Not-
one, but
not-
maybe number two.
not terrible. So yeah, Brian, why don't you tell us about yourself?
All right, I'm Brian, Amanda's husband.
Hi.
I have Bowie, who's 5, who's just
The best.
the best.
The
I,
best.
I can't. I have to admit, I love her.
Yeah.
And
she's
then we
the
have
best.
Waylon, who's close number 2,
Yeah,
but
a little bit more.
who's
Good.
7 months. And yeah, just
Well, maybe a little more.
really enjoy being a dad these days. It's a lot of fun. It's a new identity for us. As dads, you go through life. I feel back in the day, dads never really had a voice, and it was always the mom's role to help with the kids and do the kid stuff. And I think dads are taking more of a front and center role, and I think it's good, especially for dads with daughters like myself. I think they need to see how daughters should be treated. How women should be treated. I mean, I feel I treat Amanda fairly well in front of the girls. We have our tists. We try to do it outside of the eyes of the kids, but it's just it's a different time and struggling and balancing work and the kids. It's
You
it's hard.
it, huh?
Yeah.
See, a lot of it's funny because I was telling one of my girlfriends that I called Brian all the time, like all frazzled and be like, Bowie just tied a fucking ribbon in her hair and I can't get it out. I had to cut it and I couldn't figure out where it ended and began, so I had to cut some of her hair.
out, yeah.
It made me late, and the baby was freaking out the whole time. I'm sweating, and like she told me, she was like, you know what happened if I did that to my husband? He would be like, oh, okay, you want to hear about my day? And I'm like, that's annoying. And I'm like, the only reason he's saying that is because he hasn't had enough time alone with the kids. Because the second that like you guys are kind of like placed into like morning till night, like I know that like dads come home and like do they get their time with them, but that you guys will always be the fun one because you don't get enough time to get frustrated or overwhelmed or anything like that. So
Yeah.
the fact that I've been leaving, Bowie with Brian as a baby, like it's
Well, from
him
day
and I,
one, yeah.
him and I were just figuring it out together because I was very open and honest about like, this isn't coming naturally to me. I don't know what I'm doing. And we figured it out together. So because of that reason, he knows like how hard like the juggle is, of trying to do work and find time for me and find time for the kids and find time for his hobbies. And so it's like a breath of fresh air knowing that like, he's never making me feel stupid.
Wait, Amanda, what are hobbies?
Oh, please, says the guy that surfs every morning.
Aaron
He
got off a
wishes.
plane at 2 in the morning,
Yeah.
and went surfing at 6. He's like, oh my god, I'm exhausted.
Can I just ask
The
one,
waves are
one
up.
little question here? Normally when you ask a guy, done this for many years,
Sorry.
who are you? The first thing they say is not husband, not father.
Yes.
It's what I do.
Yeah.
Neither one of them did that here. So what is it that you guys do for a living?
Well,
Well,
Just generically or whatever.
Yeah, I'm a lineman. Build power lines. Right now I'm a general foreman, so I kind of run all of Lake Arrowhead. And before, this is one of the points I kind of wanted to make. Before being a husband and a father, I identified as I was a lineman. I was a
Exactly. Usually the first
I
thing
was
comes
a
out of a guy's
sexy
mouth, right?
bachelor, and I was a lineman.
Yeah,
And it's all changed now.
Journeyman
you know?
lineman.
it's pretty true though. I mean,
Journeyman lineman, you're right.
that was the same thing too. Like,
And what do you do? What do you do?
I'm a network engineer by trade, and so I work in IT. And before that, I had aspirations to be a professional race car driver, and
Ooh, fun.
I spent a lot of money on that. And that was the same thing. Like someone asked, "Oh, what do you do?" Well, I drive race cars. But now it's like I'm a father and a husband, and I have a family, and I work in IT, and sometimes I start up the race car and pretend like I
Applaud
drive it.
you. That's amazing because I'm telling you, in 5 years of doing interviews, every guy comes in and starts with, "Here's what I do for a living." Then they mention their family and their kids in that order.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, keep going.
yeah,
Aaron,
this
sorry.
is a, you know, we kind of knew coming into this that this was going to be more family oriented. If it was talking more about, oh, you know, what are some key achievements in your life? You know,
That was a different question,
professionally,
though,
that would
you
be
know?
totally different. But
Yeah.
But
But-
who are you?
yeah, who are you? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very
So if I'm sitting,
personal question.
if you're in an airplane, I'm sitting next to you. We're flying back. Nobody but you and me in the seats. And I say, "Hey, I'm Paul. I have an internet radio station. Who are you?"
Oh, that conversation. If you already introduce yourself
As a
what you do,
professional,
what you
right?
do
Yeah.
as a profession, that just leads me into the conversation of what I do as a profession.
I see.
Right.
If
So-
you said, "Hey, I'm Paul. I got 9 grandkids," I'd
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, really, Paul? That's cool.
That's cool.
Brian, I
Exactly.
got 2."
Yeah, I have 2.
Yeah.
You have 2
So
grandkids?
I
Grandkids
wanted
one
to
day.
ask
Jeez,
you
you're
guys.
growing fast.
So to get back to why Amanda and I think you guys are just the world, and why we chose you to be our partners in being miserable for the rest of our life. We want.
Horrible way to describe that.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not super miserable. It's just very tired.
Just at 6 a.m.
Just a little
Exhausted.
miserable.
Kids are miserable. Brian's not
Sometimes
miserable.
miserable.
When you guys, when it was time to have kids or actually change your life to be fathers, like, what did you think it was going to be? Did you already have an idea of how you wanted your wife to have a role? What was your role? I don't know. Can you just dive into what you thought, how it changed, and who you are now? And just let everybody know, like, what you guys do as fathers.
Well,
And be real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a problem. Amanda and I, we were friends before we got married. I'm sure everybody knows that. And we had talked when we got married how we wanted our roles as parents to be prior to us even having kids. And I found myself being a lot more lenient than I thought I was going to be. It may be because I have girls. If I had boys, there might be more of a tendency to me be more hard on them. And maybe that's why Amanda's harder on Bowie than I am. Or,
We thought it was going to be the opposite, though.
Yeah, we definitely thought we were going to be opposite. I was going to be the one that laid down the law, but I don't lay down shit, man. I tell grown men what to do all day. I get home and I tell someone to brush their teeth, and they look at me like I'm retarded. Oh, yeah, you brush your teeth.
That you brought up a good point though earlier about you're a father of 2 girls and I'm a father of 2 boys, and I do find myself kind of being more of the enforcer with the boys, kind of because like
Yeah.
obviously I can relate more because I remember what it was like growing up and
Yeah.
your boundaries and Juliet, and more times than not the mother's the nurturer and the ones that they go to for comfort when they fall down and they're crying and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I
that's
have
true.
to catch myself sometimes. I want to be that enforcer, like, hey, I want you to be like a man when you grow up,
Right.
but you got to remember, like, he's only 3.5.
Yeah.
I got to take
Yeah.
it easy sometimes. And
Yeah, I feel the same way when I push Bowie towards the stairs. I'm like, oh. all right.
Idiot.
Pull it back.
Not
Pull it back.
today.
Give her a hug.
No, I try to remind myself to take it easy on Bowie, and then she like says something that kills me, and I'm like, "Ugh, never mind, go to your room.
like, mommy, where's your vodka?
Where's my
Or
vodka?
the juice box.
No, she'll
there.
say out loud at a restaurant, "Can I have some of that, or is there vodka in it?" And I'm like,
Oh
"Will
my
you
God.
keep
Yep.
it the fuck down? No one needs to know."
You know the answer to
tattletale.
that.
But I think that's a really great point, because we all kind of struggle with how we want to raise our kids, and
Yeah.
we each hit those. We check ourselves because we want them to be respectful. We want them to also be free, but also don't touch that and don't talk to me like
Yeah.
that. But then also,
It's an invisible line.
You don't want the asshole kid. I always
Exactly.
tell everybody, your,
It's my
your
main
entire,
goal. I don't
your
want an
entire
asshole.
goal in life is not to raise an asshole kid. And for me, as a father of girls, not to be a grandfather when they're 16. There's certain things you gotta you set. I think 1 and 2 are right there. That's
Right.
my 1 and 2 goals. Other than that, I don't give a shit what happens.
Yeah.
Like Valentine's Day, we make a big deal out of Valentine's Day.
because the girls.
we hate
Well,
we hate Valentine's Day.
Aaron, get
Well,
on board,
he-
girl. Get on board.
No, I
No,
think
I like this. Go ahead, Amanda. I know what you're saying.
Well, Brian, he said that he wants to show them. Well, me too. Definitely me too.
But I
Because
made presents,
I'm
says
big into
Amanda.
Valentine's Day. But I think it's important to show them that like you know, Mom used to say any excuse to celebrate each other is a good idea. Like, yeah, it might be a man-made holiday and it might be stupid, but like if she grows up seeing Dad celebrating her, then she's gonna have that, hopefully, the expectation of a guy
Yes,
that's gonna
I
be
love
like,
that.
it might be stupid, but this is why not? Like, what else did you have
But
planned
that-
today?
it's
You
a-
know?
I think that's a double-edged sword, though, because you would hope that your daughter would expect a man who treats her right to do that on any given day, not just for Valentine's Day.
Oh, everybody says that,
Right.
obviously, but I like a little something extra to look forward to. It's exciting.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Especially,
something shiny.
especially in February when there's no other
Something
real
shiny.
holidays, right?
Right, exactly.
Just
Except for my birthday.
Oh,
high five. Real holiday.
I think I'm the only.
Everybody
January
says that. Oh, you
Yeah.
should treat you like
You're
that
Jan- I'm
365 days a
January.
year.
Oh, that's right.
February.
Because
Yeah.
January birthdays are the best.
So let me ask you guys then. Okay, how has your role before kids and after kids as a husband changed? Do you feel like it has changed?
Night and day.
Okay, please tell us.
Everyone, when you're a little bit younger, your early 20s or whatever, you're like, oh, am I going to marry this girl? Is this the one for me? You like stress out and like, wow, it's such a big commitment. Getting married is not a commitment. It is, but it's not.
Kids are the commitment.
Kids are the defining commitment.
Yeah.
That's a
because
good point.
they are
Yeah.
there. They're there forever.
Oh, you can't get rid of them.
We just brought that up the other day. We were just saying it doesn't. They're just always there. When you get home, they're not going on vacation
No.
without you.
No.
Like your wife can go with her friends to Joshua Tree or do whatever the hell they want to do. You get home, those little booger eaters are right there staring at you
Booger
like, "Hey,
eaters.
what's up? What are we gonna do?" And you're like, "I don't know, man. I want to take a nap."
I
I think
remember.
that's the biggest thing I miss as a parent is a nap at 1 o'clock on
Yeah.
a Tuesday.
Yes,
Those are gone.
I agree.
I remember the day after we got married.
Mhm.
We were gonna drive to Lake Tahoe. That was our honeymoon,
Mhm.
and we're like, "Wow, we're married." Like, what's
Right.
changed?
Now what?
Yeah.
Nothing. It's the same, and it was the same for many years
Yeah, 6
until
years
we
later.
decided to have kids. When we had a kid, that's when everything changed. I mean, we lived with each other for a long
The
time.
day we
so
were
we knew what was going
pregnant,
on.
everything changed.
Yeah.
Pregnancy was no freaking joke, and that's
Yeah.
when shit got real.
That's
Yeah.
that's
But I
definitely
think it's important that
a
to
difference.
point out that you two are the same people with the same friends and your same hobbies and your same agenda as are us.
Yeah.
Him and
Yeah.
I. Is that proper English?
I'd say
Well, it made sense to me.
pretty accurate.
So like
Yeah.
so yes, everything does change, but it might be more mental than it is physical because you guys made it work
Right.
to where you are still your own human beings,
Absolutely.
you know? And I
Yeah.
think that's the kind of the key to like
it's weird when
enjoying being a
you
parent
have, it's weird
period.
when you have to like almost fight to retain that though, because you could
Right.
But if it's
the kids
important to
think-
you,
yeah,
Right.
it
then
could-
you find a way. It's the balance is hard and you have to fight
The
to keep that
balance
balance.
is
Yes.
It's hard when Amanda has an alarm on her phone for every 6 weeks. She lets me do a fishing trip or whatever the thing, and it's like, hey, your fishing
It's a
trip came
reminder
out.
for me
And
to
I'm like,
check in
I don't
with
have
him.
time to go fucking fishing, man. I would love to go fish, but I have 9 million things. But there's always, I know that option's always available. And I think that's what people who are starting out in marriage.
That's that carrot though.
Yeah.
That's the carrot. You're like, hey,
And-
Brian, here's that
but you'll
fishing
get it
trip.
one day. That's the thing is I'll get that carrot one
That's
day.
what I say with the
You know?
racing and him and his excuses.
Yeah.
Both
And-
Amanda and I don't understand your guys'
Well, the kids need new shoes and
But
they need clothes. And
I'll
this
still
and
buy them
that,
shoes
For
and your
Brian
race
and
car.
for Juliet and I, it's our reminder to check in with you guys and say, hey, how are you doing? What do you need?
Yeah.
Right.
Because when I sent him away for the weekend and you sent him away to do
Right.
something, when they come back, they're charged and ready to jump back in.
And they're
You know, we
Does
just,
it make a difference when you guys do?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
huge
It
difference.
makes a big difference because you miss your kids, you miss your wife, you miss,
the chaos?
Yeah, a part of you does. And
Yeah,
if
it
you're
really
out there in
does.
your own element, you kind of miss that. I don't know. I don't
Right.
know what it is that you miss. Hey, you miss the
It's-
family. You
It's
miss-
a
Yeah.
it's a
you-
grass
you
is
know.
greener thing. It
Yeah.
always is. You're finally out with the boys, having some beers, bro time, being stupid, and you're like,
Yeah.
man, like I kind of miss like my kids and my wife, and then you get back and you're like, yay, everything's awesome. This is great, and then you're
Right.
like, God damn it, I wish I was with.
I know.
beers and
You
friends."
come home and like my
Man,
mom,
nothing's changed.
mom
Nothing's
bun is
changed.
like over my face,
the
and I'm
same.
like, wipe his nose while I'm wiping his ass. He like comes home into the threshold of chaos.
but
Yeah.
at least he's smiling.
We
But he's
talked
smiling, of
about that
course.
literally yesterday.
Yeah.
It's that drive home from work, and
Yep.
you're like, man, if I go in that house, it is game on.
It is.
Take
So
a
you
deep breath.
take that extra 60
Ready.
seconds, and then boom, there it is.
Yep.
Like, kids snotting everywhere. Oh, Malachi's diaper needs to be changed, and Ezekiel's he just fell off the couch and he's screaming and like, oh my God. And then Joy's like, yes, I've been doing this all day.
But Aaron, can I just give a little shout out to you, just because I'm so lucky that no
Please.
matter
Please.
the amount of chaos,
Please.
no matter the amount of chaos,
He stays calm.
I mean,
He's a
I
calm one.
smell like a freaking. I'm not gonna even say it because
Yeah.
I can just I just.
Spicy food.
Shh. You know, he comes home and I look like a freaking mess. I wish I could have the lips on and all this stuff. And he still comes and gives me a kiss, number one, before he even says hi to any of my freaking kids.
Course.
My kids.
It's their
Our
job.
kids.
Sure, you're kids now.
That's what we do. My mom, your mom, whatever. You know
Oh,
what I
I
mean?
know.
Like, it's just so funny. So it's just, every single day I recognize that, and I want to say that just on the air and put it out there. Like, I do not miss a beat when he comes home and he gives me a kiss before he puts anything down and even looks at our children. And it just is amazing. But within that split second of me seeing that, I'm like, all right, and game on. Here's
And
the
then
applesauce, here's
as
the
they're
kids.
like
and
attached to my leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that slow motion kiss.
It
And
is.
then everything wraps around.
Oh
in
my
fast
God.
motion. You're like, God.
But I want you to know that I recognize it
Oh, well,
every
thank you
single
very
freaking
much.
day. And
Yeah,
if
good
you,
job.
the moment you
job, man.
stop,
Here's to that.
I will cry.
Well,
Somebody tweeted and want to know how long both couples have been married or
Ooh.
together. Maybe you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
A couple.
All right, go, Brian.
Go,
Man
Brian.
and I have been married for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just over 5 years. We've been together 6.
And best friendship,
Yeah, we met each other 10 years ago.
Yes.
She made sure I knew that.
they were inseparable
I did
10
because
years ago.
Oh, because it's my birthday. I'm 32, and then I met him I think a week before my birthday or 2 weeks before my
After.
birthday. 22nd birthday. No, before.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
Aaron.
there's a fight brewing over this
Yeah,
one before
but
after.
let's cut that
All right,
one
so
out.
5 years married, 10 years friends. All right.
Yep.
And we've been married 8.
We're going to be 9 in February, I think.
9 years in February.
Mm-hmm.
And
Together for 16.
222.
Yep.
And we were dating for 6 years before
that.
we were married. So,
Mhm. So almost
you do the
16
math.
years. Yeah, almost 16 years. Yeah. I was 19
Wow.
and had braces, and I was like, hey.
she was 19 when we met.
Oh,
And
that-
she was Josh's little sister.
Oh,
yeah.
dang. Which is our
Yeah,
brother.
That's who I married.
Yeah,
I,
Josh's
I
little
love
sister.
I love when I went to your dad's house the other day. That picture of Juliet on the wall
Oh.
Oh, my God.
kills me. Every time I go up and I point at it, I just get a laugh.
Oh, my God.
oh.
Shut
One
up.
laugh. Ha.
Oh, my God. Stop.
2 minutes
I
till
know.
break.
All right, we got 2 minutes till break, so you guys say
she
whatever
was
you
legal
need.
when I met her.
I
That's
was
good.
legal.
Thank
It's funny,
God.
on the
Thank
way
God.
here, we got behind an old IROC.
Yes.
Amanda was like, dude, my sister had this IROC.
Yeah.
Oh,
It had
it's the
a
best.
Iron Maiden
1990s.
sticker on it. I was
A
like, oh my
1990.
God, she was just annoyed me in
Well,
high
it-
school.
Yes.
It wasn't an IROC, unfortunately.
Oh, was
a
it?
Camaro.
RS.
It was an RS.
RS
Sorry.
V8.
So let me ask you
Oh,
another.
yeah.
I'm going to
So
ask you out with dating game questions here.
We'll get another one.
So who
Yeah.
fell first in both relationships? Who knew this is the one for me first? Was it mutual? Did one come first?
Oh, I knew first.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that
I
right?
love
But then she came
that.
begging.
Then she.
You're so stupid.
Actually, there's
Yeah.
a fantastic story behind that, but we're not going to go
That is,
there.
yeah, that's a
That's a
story
whole
for
other-
another
So you
day.
knew
I
first,
was in
right.
another country. I didn't come nothing. Okay.
No, but when
Called
you first,
bacon.
when you guys first met,
bacon.
She got
there-
extradited back to the U.S. to get married.
No, it's not even that. Like, I actually love it.
Get outta
It
here.
was so cool because Brian and I would meet up for lunch, not even really knowing each other, but I always knew like Brian traveled. My sister worked at Pomodoro, and I worked at a police department, and so I would always get these fantastic free lunches. It was when my sister and I were finally bonding, and Brian would always show up, and I'm like, who's this handsome man who travels?
What's
and
a
he-
Carlton?
What's a Carlton? And there's the Carlton. And it was funny because, like, we were friends, but I didn't really know who he was. But then there was something about him, like,
But you didn't answer the question. Who fell first?
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, you guys.
Yeah.
Ready to
Who
go.
fell
Well,
first?
You two, I already answered. I
Yeah.
He did. He
first,
stepped
yeah.
up. What is a question?
I knew I loved you.
I
right
did.
from the start.
I did for
I think
sure.
on our side,
Yeah.
Yeah, I did for sure.
Juliet was the pursuer,
Mm.
Yeah.
The chasee.
and we dated for a very long time. And then one day I was just, I'm
He's
gonna,
like,
I'm gonna marry this girl.
He
for
can't
sure.
lose.
I'm like, it was win-win. There's no reason
Oh,
not
I
to.
love you.
I decided I don't want to spend the rest of my life with her.
He
Ah.
pursued.
Without her.
She kamikaze
No,
Or
you.
with her. Yeah, gotcha.
I want to spend the rest of my life without her. Yeah.
Yeah, no. All right, we're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back, and we just want to keep hearing from these guys so you guys know that we're not lying. So it's great.
Imagine what it would feel like to lose everything. Your job, your home, your family, your dignity. This has happened to thousands of the men, women, veterans, and young adults we serve at Working Wardrobes. What do we do to help? We provide career development services, life skills workshops, job skills training. We provide the perfect interview outfit, and we get clients placed in jobs. Call Working Wardrobes, 714-210-2460. Donate, volunteer, invest, hire.
When it comes to pioneers in their respective industries, we all know the Apples, Starbucks, and Trader Joe's of the world. In the realm of recruiting, Decision Toolbox is the industry's best-kept secret, with 90% of their business from referrals and repeat customers. For over 20 years, Decision Toolbox's U.S.-based team of recruiters, sourcers, professional writers, quality personnel, and tech support has perfected a Six Sigma approach to talent management. No matter the size of the project, Decision Toolbox delivers incredible results. A cost per hire less than half of what contingency firms charge, with the winning candidate presented in an average of 14 days, all with a 12-month candidate warranty. With results like that, Decision Toolbox won't be a secret for long. Visit us at www.dtoolbox.com for more information.
All right, we're back. They're trying to debate which one of these wisdoms they're going to pass on. I just got one more question for you.
Yeah. All right, Paul, go ahead.
For the guys.
This
Well,
is,
yeah,
this is
I'm
your one
ready.
chance, Paul.
30 years I've been married, okay? So
Okay.
long time.
Good job.
And I was the one who fell first. I just on first date I said, "Oh my God, I'm in love with
that's
this girl. I can't believe it."
Yeah.
I'd never had that experience before, so that was definitely part of it. Now, here's what and then we adopted later, a couple years later, so we adopted a girl. And one of the things, like you guys, what you talked about is I wasn't ready for the change in roles. I thought I was going to be a tough guy. I turned out to be a marshmallow. My wife, who I thought was a marshmallow and fun person, turned out to be a staff sergeant. You know, so we weren't ready for these things. And it caused a lot of conflict between
Right.
us. I'm telling you, big conflict, like maybe we're going to break up kind of conflict.
yeah.
It was really,
between you
Right.
two.
yeah, it got
Because
man.
of the parenting styles.
because we
Yeah,
had
yeah, I
lived
get
together, or we'd been together for quite a number of years, and we meshed very well together. Now we've entered a third element into the picture here, and we had never talked. We had totally
The
different
most
ideas of parenting.
terrifying
Yep.
element.
Yeah, the most terrifying element.
But and that's the thing. You were about to say you didn't talk about it.
We didn't
people,
talk about
people
it.
need to talk about it before they
I
get
thought we
into
knew
it.
each other. I thought we
Yeah.
knew each other.
It's kind
Has
of like
nothing
it's
to
kind of
do
like
with
having
parenting.
it's like having a plan if there's a major earthquake. Like you have to discuss.
Thank
like,
you. Yes.
What would we do if we were parents? Like, would you be okay if I did this? Would you be okay with that?
Who's
And-
staying
and
home?
If you have some
Who's
sort
working?
of idea,
Who's staying home? Who's working? Yeah.
if
But you
have-
think you know the other person. You guys all said you knew these people for a
No,
long
but
time.
I
So
just
what-
want to
Yeah.
say something about that. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going, and I'll tell you after.
Oh, I was going to say that's, I think, the key difference that both I want these guys to touch on is the fact that they communicated with their wives and we communicated. We literally sat down and talked about how our life is now and
Only
what
because
we
I was really
expect it.
scared of being a
Yes.
parent. I wanted him, but I was really scared. I'm not trying to come off like, yes, I do whatever I do.
No,
I
it
had a
was-
lot of fear.
Yes,
So
same.
that's the way I
And
do it.
yes, and
you
this
guys
is
aren't tree
forced
hug-
me into
everybody's
conversation.
You guys
afraid.
aren't tree hugger types. You're not the
Not at all.
open up, let's
No.
talk and
No,
share for
No.
5-hour
it's
types.
very
You
much
don't-
like
No.
and
somebody's phone's ringing.
everything goes out the window too once
Literally
that
mine.
kid shows up.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
You could have the best plan in the world
Mm-hmm.
on paper, and then you are pregnant, and then hormones are going crazy,
Right.
and everyone's losing their minds, and then the baby shows up, and all the things you talked about go out the window.
Yeah.
Because the reality
true.
is
It's
that
true.
this is a real life situation that you have to deal with
You
forever.
can't give it back.
Yeah.
Forever, yeah.
You
You,
c-
because
forever.
because you can get divorced. I'm sorry to say, I'm not going to try and jinx anything, but you can leave being a
It
partner,
doesn't matter. You have
but you can't
kids.
stop being a parent.
You can
Okay,
never stop
so
being a
this is
parent.
what I want the guys to go into right now is what made them switch their I don't want to say personalities or
Modus
this and that.
operandi.
It's just how when it came from the pregnancy and how we literally Amanda and I completely changed as people during the pregnancy, after the pregnancy. Oh, are you kidding, Amanda? We were both angry assholes.
I'm super high strung.
Okay.
So fucking high strung.
So, anyways, I
Ew.
want to
Nah,
know.
Amanda, you're the mellowest girl I know.
Obviously.
Get out of here.
You haven't been listening to these shows.
No, not at all.
No, that's because Juliet is like a
What?
sergeant.
Yes.
See? But I'm okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I want
Lieutenant Amanda.
Brian and Aaron, I want you to just tell us what it's like to be a father, to be a husband, and to be a man. How do you maintain your individuality? How do you support your wives? How do you support yourself and your own dreams and aspirations? That's the rest of the show. So just go at it, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
It's easy.
it's
Shut up, Paul.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay, just go.
all right. Honestly, honest to God, happy wife, happy life.
Oh,
it does.
boy.
It does
You learned
actually
that
work
one.
that way.
True.
It does. It does. But it rolls downhill if everybody's
Well,
happy.
happy life kind of comes back to you though. If your wife's happy,
Yeah, it's
then
an incentive.
If I do something great for Amanda, I know I have a weekend.
Oh, hell yeah. She loves presents.
And she knows
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
You
Yeah.
treat me good, I treat you good.
and,
That's right.
and it's the same way with you, I would imagine.
It
right?
absolutely
You
is,
know?
and it's like Juliet understands that if I'm starting to get super ornery and I finally get to go surf and I come back and I'm happy again. It's like, wow, well, if Aaron went surfing more often, then he wouldn't be so pissed off all the time.
Right.
So maybe I'll just let him
Yeah.
go surf this
Yeah,
afternoon.
Amanda feels that way about me buying her rings. Well, Brian would
Yeah.
just buy me more rings. More often.
No, I always
She's
tell
only got
Brian.
10 fingers.
I always tell Brian, I'm like, I don't own enough jewelry for this shit. This is fucking
Oh my
crazy.
God, I love that.
Keep going.
Unfortunately, I found someone who has layaway in the circle.
You best believe I utilize
Sammy
that.
saw her coming. He's like, "Hey, bro, I give you a good deal." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you son
Hey,
of a
man,
bitch."
But how do you avoid
love
the
him.
trap of taking each other for granted? Or
Oh,
the
yeah.
other one I see all the time, and it happened to us, I think, along the way too. You're so focused on the kid, you stop paying attention.
Oh,
to
I
it.
love my husband way more. I love
that
my
would
children.
Never happen.
Oh, really?
Way
I think,
fucking
Yeah.
more than I love my
Yeah.
children.
And this is a very key
And I know
point.
that I made a lot of
want-
shit for
I'm
that,
glad
but
you
I don't
brought
care
it
about
I
up.
want
that.
husbands and wives to listen to this. Let the guys take it away.
I mean, the biggest thing now is that I've had to travel for work a lot, and that's been a huge stressor in our lives. It wouldn't have been a big deal if we had no kids, but now we have kids, and especially two.
Don't leave me.
And
Leave me with this freaking kids, Bob.
I genuinely feel absolutely mortified when I have to leave for work, and Juliet has to spend 5 days straight with two kids under the age of 4.
And hold down.
I don't
our
think
own
I could do
company.
it. Honestly, I would probably freak out and die. But somehow,
Wow.
somehow she does
follow
it.
I thought you
over
just to say be
and
sad or
die.
something,
No,
but you're going to
no,
freak
I
out
know.
and die.
He's gonna die.
That'd be the end of Aaron.
Yeah, because
He
I
understands the
I
stress.
wouldn't eat. You have no time to eat when you have
You
two
don't.
kids under the age of 4.
Well, what do you do when you take a shower with the other hand? You got soap in one,
Well,
Yeah.
pizza
that's
slice in the other. I don't,
no,
know, I don't know how you take showers, Aaron.
That's when my beer's in my other hand.
See?
God damn, that's a good point.
Or bourbon. Bourbon.
Oh,
did
I
it.
love
Yeah.
drinking in the
Good.
shower.
Shower
Isn't
beers.
that bad?
It's a
Or was there
subreddit.
champagne?
It is.
Shower
But you,
beers.
you understand that this is a fairly new phenomenon. When my dad came home, and maybe to an extent when I came home, it was about me. I had a hard day, and so my dad would come
God.
home and unload, and my mom was there to be comforting and supporting, even though I'd been a brat all day
Juliet
or
is
whatever.
very comforting. Now she's like, take these goddamn kids away from me.
I'm anything
See-
but comforting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel I got not to toot
No,
my
you
dad's
can.
one. My dad, owned his own businesses, so he was able to get away from his work schedule, and he coached. Jesus, he coached all my baseball teams, and he was always there after work and
Good.
helped us, and he he got coach of the year in California.
Wow.
For,
Yeah,
For
Dad.
California?
for
Oh, my
roller
goodness.
hockey, and this dude was a farmer, never played
I
hockey. in his
freaking love your
goddamn life.
dad so much.
And,
He's
But he
adorable.
had, he had
They-
mad
they gave-
coaching skills.
I guess he
Right?
did.
Yeah.
They gave him the coach of the year. He's like, son of a bitch.
I love your dad. I love your mom. I
It was
love
the
your
funniest
whole
thing
family.
ever. I'm like,
They're hilarious.
but he's always been. He was a very
He was there for you.
hands-on. Yeah.
Do you feel that
was.
set
That's
the
awesome.
scaffolding for you? Like that's
Yeah.
you wanted
Yeah,
to be like him?
For sure. I want to be there for those things.
Hey, Brian,
And-
Brian, you gotta put those rollerblades back on if you
Oh,
got.
I want to see Brian in
Roller hockey
rollerblades.
coach of the
Man,
year.
I went
Brian's
roller
already
skating.
hot. I want to see him fucking rollerblade.
It's
There
stupid
might-
how good he is. Like
At
he's like a
rollerblades?
gazelle.
The roller. I
Oh
can
my
roller
god,
skate too,
ice
Paul.
skating
My
and
goodness.
rollers.
'Cause he's a big guy. This is not
Backwards-
somebody I
I
would
know,
think
that's
is.
what makes it
Backwards
hilarious.
Slalom, like back
Roller
and forth?
skates, ice skates.
Yeah.
He's like he like glides like an angel, and I'm like, oh fuck you.
I hate this guy more every
Oh,
time.
trust
Have
me,
you,
you and
have
me
you ever
both.
I
seen?
can't stand
Have you ever
Trust
seen a
me.
gazelle run across the
Yes.
the
Yeah.
open plains of the African
Safari, yeah.
safari? It's
The
kind of like
savannah.
It's kind of like
It's
that,
kind of like
Oh my
that.
God.
but with rollerblades on.
But now picture a rhinoceros.
Oh my
That's
God, I
me.
love that.
Trying
So
to
what
stand
I
up something.
what I don't want to inject a little bit. What I love about you guys, you guys do not have easy jobs. Both of you are on 24/7 because you,
All the time.
Aaron, you're in
Yeah.
charge of 29 parks nationwide. You're like actually on call right now because one of the parks had an
He's
outage.
working right now. I don't know whether you know, but he's working right
And
now.
they are, and
Working.
so is
my job.
Brian. Brian is waiting. One transformer blew up. I don't even fucking
He's
know.
dealing with a disaster via text.
Yeah, I just got a text of not good news, but we'll work through it.
But you
I-
know what? When
They
these
can hold on for
guys,
30 minutes.
when they come home to awesome, chaotic, beautiful wives
Thank you,
and their
Anna.
crazy children,
I
they're
love
100% on as fathers as well. All they have to do, we had to learn over time, is they need to communicate. Like I always told Aaron, you can't, if you come in, you better be on. No laptops, phones. But if he's like,
Yeah.
honey, I'm here, but there's an issue. I got it. That's instantly,
Yeah.
I'm on. I'll let you know you're home. You know what I mean? It's all about communication.
But be present. Don't be somewhere else when you're
Absolutely.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
that's the thing. Being present, being aware of your
Right.
kids and their needs. And it's hard sometimes. You zone out. You're like, oh God, Bowie's crying about the same
But
thing
you
she cries
have
about
to
every
zone
day.
out
But
sometimes.
Of course
But-
you do. Are you kidding me?
you also.
I don't even know my kid's name.
It's Bowie.
So let me give you another lesson I
It's
learned.
Bowie.
See if you agree with this one. All right.
What? Go ahead.
Many years ago, I heard somebody, so it was actually a preacher said this, and I thought, this resonated with me. Women want to be loved. Men want to feel important.
Yes.
get that.
I
I've
can see
heard
that.
that.
I
Yeah.
agree with
I-
that.
Are
I
you
agree with
fucking
that.
kidding me? You are important. I can't do this shit without you.
yeah.
And,
Well,
and I
it's
think
vi-
in the,
it's
in the
vice versa,
same
though.
the same talk, I
That's
think is
what-
that men,
right
men
there.
are the fixers,
Yes.
right?
I think I'm better at being
Right.
married than I am at being a
Right.
mother.
Really? Why do you say that?
I think I'm a really good mother, but
She's amazing.
I really do. I really
Everybody-
honestly
She's an
everybody
believe.
amazing
thinks
wife,
that.
though.
She's yeah.
Well, thank you. I believe I'm a good mother, but they can't communicate like two adults. So when it comes to my husband, I feel like I'm a very good wife because I'm like, I always check in with him and make sure that he's 100% because that gets me a lot of attention.
Yep.
And that's my end game.
Oh, hey.
And it's not like
The cat's out of the
it's
bag.
not
That's
like
out.
The cat's been out of the
No.
bag.
No.
Timmy's running around the house.
No. It's not like a foul motivation type maneuver.
You
It's
evil
like,
maneuver.
I want to take care of you so you're happy because when you're happy, you take care of me.
No, that's
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah.
And that's
the
why.
whole motivation.
That's why
But I feel
Juliet
like I know
understands-
men way more than I know children.
Right.
Juliet understands why I have to go surfing because
Yes.
when I do, I come back
Need it.
and I'm
Recharge.
a happier
Not needed, just
person.
he's
I'm
ready
just
to
a
rock.
happier
And
person.
women need their own things too. We get them.
I'm more tolerant of shenanigans with the kids. I'll play with them instead of being just so angry.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's very plain
Can I
and
ask you a
simple.
question?
Yeah,
What does Juliet need to recharge?
More
What does she
money.
need?
Hey. No, and I was actually, it's so funny you asked that, Amanda. It was, and this has been really exciting for me.
Shopping
a lot of,
is key.
That's irrelevant. I work
Nice.
full time. We're fine. I bring in
shopping is
money.
key.
Doesn't
Amanda,
matter.
yeah,
More
it's
money,
fine.
more problems.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how much
No.
money you
Just
make.
like Biggie said.
Oh.
Just like
Yeah.
Biggie said.
Where's that
na-na-na-na.
Biggie?
But what
That
I was
Biggie
going
when
to
we
say
need 'em.
is it's very exciting for me because all of my really close friends have moved out of state, and this year I've made some really great friends, and so I've been going out during weeknights having just a glass of wine with
so
friends.
then that's your answer.
that's
So
me.
you need a
Exactly.
night.
Absolutely.
And Aaron's like-
and whenever Juliet's like, hey, you know,
Can I get it? Yeah.
so and so wants to go out. She just wants to like just get a glass of wine, and we just went talk. I'm like, yeah, just go.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
like
He
me. So
doesn't
I tell
even-
Brian.
Yeah.
Brian will say it's 2
Yeah.
hours, and I'm
Yeah.
like, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. I want to
Yeah.
go to
And the
bed.
funny thing is, when
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
out, it's like it's usually on lock. I'm like, just stay out, go
Yeah.
crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Go-
once
go
once
to
it gets
another
past
bar.
9:30, it's
I'm going to
Or
bed. I don't
whatever.
care what you do after
Kids
that.
are
Whatever you
asleep.
want.
I'm going to bed. Stay out all.
So let
fucking
me
night.
ask this
Yeah.
to you guys.
And then she comes home at 9:30.
Sorry. I like to go to bed.
Yeah.
Unless you told her she can't.
is-
She's got to be home at 9:30.
Yeah,
then
if I
she'll
said
be.
she had to be home, she'd
If
stay
you
out
ever
till
said we
1
can't
a.m.
anything.
Right. So
Keep
we
going.
have a lot of friends who, there's jealousy in play in their relationship. So
Yes.
I want to talk about, or I want you guys to touch base on jealousy or feeling bad. Like when you go out, do you
Yes.
feel bad? So please just tell us about that.
Do I feel bad?
Yeah.
No, I don't feel bad at all when I go out. Only because I know I don't do it a lot, and Amanda has all the time in the world. If she wants to go out, there's never been an instant.
Why do I have
I've
all the
said,
time in the world?
Because you make it for
Why?
her.
Why do you have all the time?
Yeah.
I didn't mean all the time in the world.
Yeah.
I'm saying
No, he's
you
saying
have,
that you
you
can
have
go out
Every opportunity.
Every opportunity is a better
Right.
way of putting it.
Yeah.
not
So
all
why
the
do I
time
have
in the
every
world.
opportunity? Is what I'm saying.
Because I let you have.
Because you make
I'll
it
watch the
available.
kids.
Right.
Yeah, I'll watch the
Exactly.
kids.
Yes,
That's the
that's
point.
great.
Jesus.
He dodged that one.
Walking me
Oh, my
around.
God.
Well, no, but,
I didn't know
but
where I
when
was.
someone
where she
says
wanted
you
me to go.
have every
I was really
opportunity.
scared.
Hey,
yeah, be more
you
clear.
have 2 kids at home. You have all the time in the world.
Yeah, what are you doing? I'm
Yeah.
what are you doing all day?
Oh, no, yeah, keep going.
That's why I thought she was
Keep
going.
going.
Like, oh, you think I have all the time in the world?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I
that's
know.
what other people are thinking.
Oh.
Interview's
That's what
over.
other people are thinking, so I wanted you to make
Fights
it more
on.
clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep going, keep going.
Yes,
Mike's-
no, Amanda, you're right.
no.
Absolutely.
But I give her the opportunity to do what
With
when
no
she
guilt.
wants to go out.
No
and there's
guilt.
no guilt at all in it.
no
I don't
curfew,
feel
no
bad.
guilt, no money
that,
issue.
that should
unless,
never
you know,
play
you
in.
gotta
That should never play
wanna
in.
hear
If
this.
Juliet wants to go out with her friends and have too many cocktails, she does it, and that's great. I want you to do that.
And
Don't ever feel bad that you're out having a good time and I'm home with the
But
kids.
what about
because
jealousy? My wife was married once before. Her 15 years.
We're
her,
past jealousy.
All right, well, because that broke up the relationship. She'd be the first to tell you.
Insecurity.
He was constantly jealous.
He's insecure.
Yeah.
I think fine. She's a good-looking woman. A lot of people do. I think.
It's
And
insecurity.
so she would go out and she'd be having fun or flirtatious or whatever. He just would go ballistic and they'd
Yeah,
come
of
back and
course.
fight all the time.
That's what we did when we were
'Cause he's
like,
not a whole
when
person.
Yeah.
When she
So
was
move on.
when she
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
when I was 24 and she was 20. That's how we were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when people are like, "Man, you got a hot wife," I'm
Yeah,
like,
your
fuck yeah, I do.
girlfriend's hot and like,
Aw,
oh, she's
thanks.
having fun. She dances all good. I'm like,
Yes, she
Yeah.
does.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Amanda.
now
Oh.
Amanda cannot dance.
now it's like,
He's been
Hey.
noticing. He's been noticing.
Amanda cannot dance.
get as
That's
many
one
of those
thing.
free
I
drinks
might have
as you
some moves
can.
tucked in here after a couple of
because-
tequilas, like a bottle.
Get all those free drinks that you can because you still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
dude.
Still going home with me.
Where the fuck are you going? I got
Yeah.
2 kids with you. Like,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
where are you gonna? You want some of this?
yeah, hey,
You gonna move
yeah.
to Aruba?
And
Yeah.
here,
So let me ask you this, guys.
Ruba's very nice.
We only got 10 minutes left of the show.
Oh.
What makes it,
Worth it?
having a partner in crime, if you will?
this is a
what-
crime. What you're doing is a crime. Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
Having a
you
family
know,
is a
having
crime
yeah,
in some
it's-
countries.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
oh, that's bad.
I have girls, so China would not like me.
Oh man,
Keep going.
nor would Japan, but that's okay. See, we went on that side. Ding ding. Just
All right.
kidding.
What was your-
But
I have no
So
idea what
my-
you're talking about. All right, come back
my
here.
question is what makes it work between you two? From what I hear, all of us, we have in our relationship, we're 100-100. We don't split it down the middle. You have this role, we have this role. What makes it work in your relationship? What is your advice to our listeners, just in general?
And are you willing to say what you're working on to get better?
Yeah,
Are you
of
willing to
course.
go there?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I think the best thing that new fathers especially should embrace is just getting into it and just doing everything. Like we live in an age now. It's not, mom doesn't do everything. It's impossible, especially because to live in Southern California, I don't know about you guys, but it's dual income. Like everybody's got to work.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to be a parent. And those days where mom just takes care of the kids and dad goes to work, they're fucking
Yeah.
gone,
Gone.
man. That shit doesn't
Yep.
exist anymore.
Yeah,
So
in society-wise, it's easy because
Right.
I don't know. I think it's not just me. It's my friends. I have
Yeah.
my buddy Luke, my buddy Mario. They're all really
All
involved
in.
with their kids,
All
in. Right.
and all have regular jobs, and it's something that we've all just kind of. I don't know. I can't.
One of my friends
know.
said that my husband works crazy hours. He can't help because
Oh,
when he
for
gets home
fuck's
he's
sake.
tired. And I'm like, my husband has weeks where they're 90-hour weeks.
90 hour, yep.
And walks
Brian,
into the
hey,
house and
right-
swoops up our
right now,
children.
Brian
you know?
works way more hours than anybody out there right now.
Right,
And he still comes
absolutely.
home, and I
Yeah.
see how he fucking deals with his kids, and he is.
All in.
Incredible.
Yeah,
He's
all in.
100% all
so
in.
when
Because
when
do you
guys-
wake up at 3:30 in the morning to go do work and have a fucking 4-hour commute both ways?
Yeah.
But
It doesn't
you got to
exist.
tell me there are times you want to come home and just crash out or
There
zone
are.
out.
Of course.
We all
When-
do,
when-
and
when-
we
when
have
I feel
code
like
words.
that,
Yes.
luckily there's a bar right down the street. And
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I'll go in there and I'll
Yep.
have 2 beers,
Yep.
and it gets me cleared up.
But Paul,
and,
Cool.
and
Paul,
I-
that's a
I
good
run
that's a
into the
good point
house,
because
you
Paul,
gotta get that way.
Paul,
Yep.
I got sick this week, and I was like, I just couldn't deal with it, and
Yeah.
I said, Juliet,
I'm cashing
I
in.
got to cash in right
Yep.
now. Like
Yeah.
this is the
That's
time that
awesome.
I just have to sleep because if I don't, I'm gonna stay
Communication.
sicker longer,
Right.
and it's gonna
Yep.
be just more
Yep.
problematic for everybody.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
It's
you
your
just have
needs.
to communicate these things.
Yes.
And the moment he told me that, I was like,
See?
awesome. I'm like, listen,
Bullshit.
Here's the no, I wish, right?
Awesome.
Amal, if you're gonna cash in, we're gonna cash in all the way. Here's sleeping pills. Call your work. I want
'Cause
you
I
in
need
that
you.
room.
Yeah.
Dark.
Working
you
on
are-
getting better.
Exactly what we
Right.
did.
Yeah.
Too.
And that's
I
exactly
wanna
what
get
it did.
sold.
And it's all communication, and it's all taking care of each other, and regardless. And I say this a lot, like all romance aside, all titles aside.
Yes.
You are my best friend.
Yes.
Let's have each other's backs.
Absolutely.
And the only reason I'm 1000% in on his best,
right.
best well half or whatever. What am I trying to say?
Better
best,
half.
Best,
Better
half,
best, whatever.
I don't know.
The only reason why you're I'm like so in tune and making you 100% is because we're a team
You're
and I
unified-
need
unified
you.
front.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, Amanda used to call me and she'd be like, "Hey, just to let you know before you come home, Bowie's in trouble." I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I want to come home and like
Be
hang
all
out,
happy.
party, like
Yeah,
give her
nope,
hugs.
nope.
Let's go on a bike ride.
You're
She's like,
busted.
no, she's being an asshole.
But that goes to the point I was trying to
You
get
know?
at, which is it's a choice. I can tell you after 30 years, it's something you never can put down. You have to work at it every day. It's a choice to come home. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this.
Wait, to
I
come
don't feel
home?
like doing this. Or
Wait,
Come
I had a
home? Choice to
choice to
come home?
not
no, I
come
mean, but
home?
you know.
I feel that way about Big Macs. Like, I have a choice every day not to eat.
Exactly. Amal. Coming home, you better fucking come home or I'm
But
gonna
I will-
find you.
Yeah.
I will. I'm trying not to talk
need
too
you to
much,
fight.
but I will say that when Brian he's got a very high stress job, and he has these days that it's super crazy for him. But I tell him, listen, I cannot have you bringing your work home.
Yes.
That is a big.
And
That's
so,
a big thing
yes,
too.
and I'm gonna
And
I'm gonna
glad-
give you the rest of the
I'm
floor.
glad
But what
you
I
brought that
tell
up.
him to do about that, what I tell him to do is I say, go to a bar, go hang out with a friend, go to a bar,
I
go
even
do
tell
anything
Aaron to
you
surf
can.
before he comes home so I
See?
don't see him. Because the moment you walk in that door,
I don't want to see
you are fucking on.
Yes, and
Right.
I understand that it's not fair, and I understand it's hard to shake off. So I
Right.
am giving you those extra hours
Yes.
before you come home to do what you have to do to
Right.
let out.
Yep.
Do
Well,
not bring it home.
The problem
Because
with
it
my
yeah.
job now, though,
Keep going.
it's a nonsense. It's 24/7.
24. Same with
know,
Aaron's. I feel
You gotta
like
find an
that.
outlet.
And I understand when I do get calls. I had one guy that worked for me. He just called me just to complain, like, "God damn, Brian, this is bullshit." And I'm like,
Is that how he talks?
Yeah,
yeah, he's
I
from,
love it.
he's from Georgia.
I love it.
Bruce Mantooth. He ain't gonna listen to this.
Bruce,
So that's
come
exactly-
on, call in,
He
buddy.
ain't got
Yeah,
no
Brian, I
internet.
don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm like, why are you calling me then if you're gonna figure it out, you motherfucker? But
Dingleberry.
that sort of thing would drive a man crazy. So
Yeah.
I learned, okay, let's not do that anymore. And now, the guys I have working with me, I'm like, hey, if it's after hours, send me a text. If it's something I have to answer to, I'll answer to.
My wife is real mean. She'll kill you.
Better watch out.
He told
do.
me, he's
No,
like, a
it's-
lot of people I work with are afraid of you. I'm like, good. It makes me feel like an adult.
All right, guys.
That's
we
one-
got.
That's
okay,
one of
keep
those things I
going.
learned though.
Yes.
No, we're talking.
Is trying to leave your job at the door. That's one of
Yes.
the biggest
Yes.
things. And they told us that when we were in like our
Birthing classes or whatever they were.
They say it, but that is hard.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
it is.
saying
I
it's a
think
choice.
That was back
Not
when
easy.
jobs were 9 to 5,
Not
and jobs
easy.
are not 9 to 5. I'm on 24/7, and Brian is on 24/7 because we manage people.
Your
that
livelihoods
are dealing a lot of
yes,
stuff.
absolutely.
Well, I
Yeah.
wish I could say we're on 24/7, but we're not. So we got a couple minutes left. So go around the room, takeaways, thoughts, whatever you want to tell people. You got 2 minutes and a mic. Tell
Thank
people
you.
something.
Thank you for that, Paul. I really want you guys to take this floor. Amanda and I are going to keep our mouth shut. What would you like to tell the listeners as roles of fathers, husbands, and men? What can they take away here?
Don't have to preach. Just get
Yeah,
ideas,
that's the
advice,
thing.
whatever.
We
Yeah.
don't want to be preachy. We just,
Right.
Lessons you
there's,
learned.
there's nothing. You can't feel bad for being a dad. That's one of your jobs. You have 2 jobs. You provide for your family, and you make sure your kids aren't assholes. Do that, and you're gonna have and keep your wife happy. There's 3 things you need to do in your fucking
3
life.
things, yeah. You almost
there's-
missed that when I was
those are 3
poking you.
things. Yeah, I poked myself. But you do those 3 things, and you're gonna live a very happy life.
Or as Chris Rock said, keep your girls from ending up on the pole. But go
Right.
ahead.
Yeah, true that.
Yep.
True that.
There you go.
All right.
My advice is literally, you need to be a strong individual who is strong in yourself
Make it your
and
own.
have a strong relationship with your wife before you decide to have kids. Because
Remember
when
you
you have
saying that.
kids,
Yeah.
anything that happens between you and your wife is amplified like 100 times. Because
Don't
they
have
are the
kids,
X
save a
factor
relationship, right?
that they're constully trying to sabotage you and destroy
Yeah.
your
Every
life.
moment for
This
intimacy.
is why I listen
Any
to, this is why I
moment,
listen to
it's-
Asian guys. Dude, so much good advice.
that they're out to get you. No, just kidding. Kids are the most wonderful things in
But
the
you
world.
said something interesting. I've never heard anybody say it. They're an amplifier. So if you got a questionable relationship, it's going to get amplified when kids.
So
come
get
along.
this.
Don't have
Get
kids,
this.
save a marriage.
This is the words of wisdom.
All right, here, listen up.
Some people have kids to try and save a marriage. Don't ever do it. It will make it a million times worse.
For them
because
and for you.
It is quite the stressor. And Juliet and I have a very solid relationship and a marriage, and we love each other, and we understand each other 100%. And kids thrown in the mix, it really made us question everything and reevaluate everything. And it's become
Shows you
so
a
much.
side of yourself.
It's become so much stronger, but it was very, very difficult. So don't take it with a grain of salt. Like, it is a very serious commitment.
I
Getting
definitely
getting
wanna have
married,
sex with you
getting
right
married
now.
is. I
And the
That
crazy
was
thing
the
is,
hottest
the
thing
crazy thing is,
ever.
I do too right now.
was just about to deliver my punchline.
Sorry,
Sorry,
that was,
sorry.
I was tingling. It was good.
The
Punchline. Are you stepped on his punchline? All
the
right, so
punchline is this:
yes,
is you think everything changes when you're going to get married,
yeah.
and it does. But when you have kids, that is really the defining moment in your life, especially with you two.
Cheers to
So
that.
take it away.
So it sounds like you guys are defying the old joke that I heard many years ago at a wedding, which says, marriage is like a hot bath. Once you get in it, it ain't so hot. Sounds like it still
Oh,
stays
I love-
steamy
Unless
and
you
warm
pee
for
in the
you.
bath.
Still steaming and warm.
I
Pat.
complain about kids, and I don't
Nah,
find
I don't
myself
never-
complaining
it-
about my
Absolutely.
marriage.
I don't.
My
Yeah, I
my
could.
marriage.
I can't even talk
We
anymore.
would
It's
never change a
stupid.
thing. Like, we would never change
Never.
it.
Hats
It's
off to you
perfect.
guys here.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Paul. This is awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you
Paul.
so much
Thanks,
for
Paul.
our hosts today, Brian and Aaron. You guys are
Oh, you're
freaking
welcome.
awesome. We love you.